Hey, what is going on guys? Caleb or Cal here, back again with another Krunker video, and in today's video I'm going to be crafting some of the brand new exclusive craftable skins that you can only get from the Krunker Junkyard. The Junkyard is a new addition to the game that came with the Season 5 update where you can craft brand new skins and items by using crafting materials and the new currency junk. And I'll be going into some of the best methods to get crafting materials and junk later in this video, so definitely stay tuned. But before we get into that, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy what you're watching and want to get more Krunker content. As always, if you guys are going to be buying KR from the Krunker shop, make sure to use code CAL to directly support me. It's probably the best way that you guys can support this channel. Also, if you guys have not already, make sure to check out my Twitch, Twitter, and Discord. I am pretty active on all three of those platforms as well, so if you guys want to watch more of my content, definitely don't miss out. All those will be in the description below. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. Now we're here on the homepage of Krunker, and if we head to the shop and crafting tab, on this first tab here you can see we have enter the junkyard. Right next to it here, this is my junk balance. Currently I have a little over 500 junk, which is a lot actually, to say the least. And I'll go over how I got this amount of junk very shortly, but clicking on the junkyard button will obviously bring us to the junkyard. You can also navigate here by clicking on this little wrench icon, and here you can see all the skins that you can craft so far. I'm sure they'll be adding more in the near future. For now, there is a pretty solid collection of skins, and I am personally able to craft all of them except for the shark bite right here. I am missing the shark fin, which even though it's only a legendary, don't let that fool you. This item is really hard to get for some reason. But on the topic of crafting materials, I thought I would show you guys what crafting materials I actually own. So as you can see, we have the standard wood, cloth, wires, tin cans. Those are the epic collectible or crafting material items currently in the game. Now, if you know anything about crafting, if you've played any Krunker in Season 5, then you probably know that these items can be found in game. However, in my experience, the best and easiest and also fastest way to get mass amounts of these is simply by going on the market and buying them. They're really not that expensive, and for some crafts you need like 10, 20, 30, 40. Realistically, if you're going to be making those crafts, it's not the most efficient to go in game and try to find 10, 20, 30, 40 of these items. Just go to the market, spend a couple thousand KR. It's really not that much, especially if you really want the item that you're trying to craft. I will note that some of these items are actually really easy to get a lot of if you just play the game normally. So in some cases you really will not have to go on the market and buy some. For example, wood here is found really commonly in raids. So if you're grinding a lot of raids trying to get the raid unub or raid contra, then you'll probably naturally build up a pretty large collection of wood. Coming up next, we have these 3 legendary crafting items, and gunpowder and meat, just like wood, can also be found in raids quite easily. That's kind of why I have a little bit more of those than spark plug. Spark plug can be found in pubs around multiple maps. I think I've actually found a couple in game. They're not that rare, but for the majority of these I did end up buying them on the market. Next up, we have these relic crafting items, and honestly, crystals are very easy to get. Since they are relic, they're a bit rarer than, of course, legendaries and epics, but they are found in raids after you beat the final boss. There is a decent chance of finding one in the chest. I've gotten them in the chest multiple times. I've seen other people get them numerous times. So yeah, these items dropped really fast. I bought a lot of them on the market whenever Season 5 first came out for around 2,000 KR. Now they've dropped to around 1,000, and I feel like they could even drop less than that because of just how common they are. So once again, market reigns superior. It's definitely the easiest way to grab these crystals if you're going to need a lot of them for crafting. Now for the other 2 relic items I have in my inventory, the muffler and circuits. I'll start off with the muffler, which I only own 1 of, and that's because there's only 1 item that requires this collectible so far. The only item that is craftable with the muffler right now is a crossbow skin, and obviously that's not a very desired weapon. Not that many crossbow mains out there. The final relic crafting item I have here is circuits, and I own 10 circuits, which is a pretty fair amount, but most people I've seen do not own a lot of these, and circuits is kind of in a opposite position as muffler because a lot of the top craftable items need a lot of circuits to be crafted. I think I'm actually going to use a lot of these today just by justify some of the crafts that I'm about to do. But yeah, it took me a while to get these. Honestly, whenever they're listed on the market, they go really fast. So if you ever see one on the market for a reasonable price and you plan on crafting things, I would grab it. Now, last but not least, the Contra collectible or crafting material items. Currently, I have 6 uranium and 8 soul shards. How did I get them? Well, you guessed it. For the most part, it was the market. Actually, for a lot of these soul shards, I had to buy them off people because they weren't really being listed on the market that much. I knew that a lot of people were getting them from grinding raids, so whenever I saw someone would get one from a raid, I would offer them a pretty fair amount of KR, and I ended up paying around 25,000 KR for most of these. A couple of them I sniped on the market for a bit cheaper. As you can see, the market average is around 22. Soul shards, I believe, can only be found in raids currently, so they are kind of rare. And uranium has a rare chance of dropping whenever you nuke in game, and because of this reason, uranium will always be constantly dropping because there are always people going to be constantly nuking throughout the day. Also, for that reason, uranium has dropped super low. Whenever season 5 first came out, I was buying uranium off the market for around 20,000, and I kind of regret that now because if you look, there are uranium going for as cheap as 10k now, so the price has halved since the seasons came out not too long ago, and so I believe the price will continue to drop. However, even if you have all those crafting materials, sometimes that may not be enough, as a lot of these items also require actual in-game cosmetics as well. For example, shark bite requires a waist item and also a back item, and both of these items, for the record, can be obtained through raids. This shark fin, though, as I mentioned earlier, is actually really rare. You can only get it by fishing, and the odds are really low. Another example here is this nuclear back item that requires the letters that spell out the word nuke, and all of these letters are spray items. Some of them are different rarities. As you can see, there are 2 that are legendaries, 1 green and 1 relic. And also, you can craft this Kakarol pistol for the full Krunket set and 69 junk. Alright, now that we've gone over everything that has to do with collectibles and materials, I'm gonna go over junk and what are the best ways to get a lot of junk, because as you guys can see, for some of these items, you're gonna be needing a lot of junk to craft them. And I guess we'll start off with the question, how the hell did I get over 500 junk? And why don't you guys just watch? So yeah, you guys just watched me quick sell a little under 100 contraband skins in order to get this amount of junk, and I think that's a little crazy, but unfortunately this is just kind of what's required if you want to be able to craft any of these top tier skins. The game currently only has 3 ways which you can get junk. The first way we have here are challenges. Out of the 90 map challenges, 82 of them give you junk, and I added up every single bit of junk that you can get from them, and it totals to a whopping 82.1 junk that you can get from map challenges. Same thing here for weapon challenges. Out of the 187 weapon challenges, 179 of them can give you junk, and I added up all those numbers and it totaled to 97.4 junk. So in total, from the map challenges and weapon challenges, you can get 189.5 junk. Now, disclaimer, I am human. I added up all these numbers manually, so there is a chance I made a mistake. Maybe I forgot a challenge or two. If my numbers are wrong, please do drop a comment. I try to make all information in my videos as accurate as possible, but I couldn't find anyone else who added up all these numbers, so I had to do that by hand. But other than the map challenges and the weapon challenges, there are also these nightmare challenges that will grant you a total of 3 junk for completing these 2, as well as daily challenges that reset every day. And not all of these will give you junk. As you guys can see, the ones that I have up here, only one of them will net me 0.75 junk for getting a 15 kill streak with sniper. And honestly, this is not a bad challenge for the return of junk, so I might even do this after I record this video. The second method that I'm about to go into, and that is finding junk in game. And if you've played Krunker at all after season 5 and you've seen a little lump of junk in game, went over to grab it, pressed E on it, then you know that stuff only nets you 0.01 junk. So think about that, guys. You have to get 100 of those just to get 1 junk. And in a good pub match, I could probably find 2, 3, maybe 4 little lumps of junk, and in a decent raid I could probably get like maybe 2 or 3 as well. So that was purely anecdotal, but if you want to consider my numbers as an average amount of junk found per game, it would take probably 30 to 40 games just to get 1 junk. I think I've said enough about that. Finding them in-game is nice, and I'm sure eventually it adds up to a little bit. So if you see a little junk pile in-game, you might as well go pick it up. But if you want large amounts of junk, then you're going to have to sadly resort to the last method, which you saw earlier. The final method of getting junk would be scrapping items in your inventory for them. However, the thing is, you can only scrap contrabands and above. Scrapping a contra gets you 5 junk, and scrapping an unobtainable gets you 50. And I'm telling you guys that simply just to tell you guys that please do not ever quick sell your unobtainables just for some junk. Getting cheap contraband skins is definitely better than quick selling any unobtainable just for that little bit of junk. It is not worth it. Finally, the time has come for me to actually craft some items, and for this video we're going to be crafting the Helios M2, the plasma cutter, and the however you say this word. And there's not really a particular reason why I chose these items. I thought they looked cool, and obviously I had to craft the Rev because it's the most expensive thing that you can craft. I plan on crafting every single craftable eventually. Not sure when eventually will be. Obviously junk is gonna be a bitch to get a lot of, and I will need a lot of it to craft every single craftable. So we'll work on that slowly. For now, let's get right into these items. So I guess I'll be coming back in a day just to show you guys my inventory. There's also one last thing I actually didn't mention, and if you click on the craft button here, you will see that there's actually a craft time for every single item. I believe for the Helios M2, 1 day and 6 hours. We'll put that at the longest craft times out of all the other skins. For the most of them, they take either 1 day or less than a day. But let's go ahead and waste no more time and go ahead and craft this. Ooh, look at that sound. Look at that timer on it, and it has this little moving wrench icon indicating that it is being crafted. Moving on next to the plasma cutter. Let's go ahead and craft this as well. This one's gonna take 20 hours. Boom, easy. And the
Jormungandr.
This one's going to take 18 hours. Let's get it. Boom, we have all these items crafting. I'll be back when they're done. All right, so we are back almost 2 days later. All 3 of the items that I have crafted are done. Fun fact, you guys will know when your crafts are done actually through the inbox system. So as you can see right here, we have a craft order. Your craft order has been completed. And if we bring up the junkyard here, as you can see, the items that I did craft have a big green check mark, and it says complete. So I actually cannot craft a second copy, which makes sense. I mean, these items aren't really tradable. I don't really see why you would craft a second copy. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to showcase the items in game, starting off with the Helios M2 Revolver as well as the plasma cutter knife. This is what these 2 items look like in game. Helios is pretty cool. I have hide weapon on ADS actually turned off here, so you guys can see what it looks like ADS. Here's the skin inspected, looks pretty sick. And I'm sure a number of you are wondering, so here is the sound whenever you shoot it. So yeah, super sick sound actually, I really dig that. Next up, the knife, plasma cutter. Nothing too special about this one, it's just a pretty cool, unique, futuristic knife model. Knife isn't too big, actually definitely on the smaller side. Here's what it looks like while inspected. You can see the handle as well as the blade. And last but not least, the final item we have to showcase is the Jormungandr's Venom. I think I finally figured out how to say that word 2 days later. But as you can see, this is what the knife looks like. It's actually quite small in my opinion. I expected it to be a decent amount bigger. I think the actual melee is kind of shaped like a sword, so I kind of assumed that it would be sword sized. However, it looks like I'm wrong. It's more like a small dagger. But other than that, it's still a super sick item. And also, fun fact, while I was trying to figure out how to pronounce this item's name, I was looking into what the name actually means. And in Norse mythology, Jormungandr is actually a giant sea serpent, and it's said that his venom is able to kill gods like Thor, so I guess that is why it's named that. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the video, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.